Zach Wilson in Miami. Let that sink in for a second. The same guy who was once touted as the next big thing in New York, only to watch it all spiral into a chaotic mess, is now stepping onto the South Florida stage, looking for redemption. And let's be real, this isn't just another backup quarterback signing. This is a guy with something to prove, and the Dolphins? Well, they might just be the perfect place for him to do it. From the moment Wilson sat down on drive time with Travis Wingfield, you could hear it in his voice. The weight of New York, the bizarre year in Denver, the hunger for a fresh start. It was all there. And now, with Miami's high-octane offense and a coaching staff that actually knows how to develop quarterbacks, he's stepping into a system that might finally allow him to show who he really is. Wilson didn't mince words when talking about what drew him to the Dolphins. Head coach Mike McDaniel and quarterbacks coach Darrell Bevell were huge factors, sure, but it was more than that. The offense, the style, the culture, everything about Miami screamed opportunity. I think it's going to be a great fit, just with what I'm looking for, the type of offense, the amount of information I'll be able to learn from these guys, Wilson said. I think it couldn't have been a better match. And really, can you blame him? This Dolphins offense is a different animal. Speed, creativity, chaos, controlled chaos, the kind that defenses can't keep up with. Wilson has watched it from the other side, trying to figure out how to slow it down. Now he gets to be part of it. He talked about that speed, that explosiveness, and how impossible it was to replicate when watching film. That's not just lip service. Defenses don't have answers for Miami's attack, and Wilson knows firsthand what it's like to be on the wrong side of that equation. Of course, there's also the little bonus of not having to play in the bitter cold anymore. Wilson laughed as he mentioned how much he used to look forward to playing in Miami late in the season, just to escape the freezing temperatures. Now it's home. No more bundling up on the sidelines. No more icy winds whipping across MetLife Stadium in December. Just sun, speed, and a shot at rewriting his story. Wilson's time in Denver was strange. A former number 2 overall pick, spending an entire season on the bench, not taking a single snap? That's not what anybody envisioned for him. But ask Wilson, and he'll tell you he needed it. They were phenomenal, Wilson said about the Broncos coaching staff. It was almost a different look at playing the position. I felt like I was able to get on my feet and learn a ton of new things, and felt like I was playing good ball. I'm excited to kind of find what's next in the journey. Think about that for a second. A guy who had been thrown into the fire in New York, forced to carry a franchise before he was ready, suddenly got the chance to step back and just learn. No pressure, no media circus, no weekly dissection of his every move. Just football. That's the thing about sitting for a year. It forces you to see the game differently. Wilson admitted it was tough, admitted it was super strange not to play, but at the same time, it gave him perspective. It made him think about what he needed to do to get back onto the field, to prove himself again. And maybe, just maybe, it made the game slow down for him in a way it never did before. Of course, you can't talk about Wilson without talking about the Jets. For 3 years, he was supposed to be the guy, the franchise savior, the answer to New York's endless quarterback woes. And then it all fell apart. Bad coaching, bad situations, bad luck. It was a perfect storm of dysfunction. Wilson knows that. He doesn't run from it. It was challenging, you know. And there's things looking back I wish I could have done so much better. Maybe would have approached differently, he admitted. That's the brutal reality of the NFL. The margin for error is razor thin, and once the narrative turns against you, it's nearly impossible to escape. Wilson had to live that. But he also understands that those years, as rough as they were, shaped him. Learning from those experiences and those hard times ultimately is what got me here, and hopefully being able to take advantage of the next opportunity here, he said. That's the key word, opportunity. Miami isn't just another stop. It's a chance to redefine his career, to prove he's not a bust, not a cautionary tale, not just another quarterback chewed up and spit out by the New York media machine. So now here we are, Wilson in Miami, playing under a coach who actually knows how to maximize talent, learning in a system that plays to quarterback strengths instead of exposing their weaknesses, surrounded by playmakers who can turn short throws into long touchdowns. What does that mean for him? Realistically, he's not stepping in as the starter, at least not yet. Tua Tagovailoa is still QB1. But in today's NFL, things change fast. Injuries happen. Contracts expire. Opportunities arise when you least expect them. Wilson knows that. And this time, he's ready.